Hello, this is section 2.4, and we're going to talk more about linear equations. Now, this linear equation model is slope-intercept form, and you should be pretty comfortable with it. We're now going to learn a new form called point-slope form, and you want to write this down next to problem 1. Point-slope form is y minus the y-coordinate equals mx minus x1, or the x-coordinate. So for this equation, you need to know the slope and you need to know a point. And we're going to label that x1 and y1. So in problem 1, they want us to write an equation of a line. They give us the slope, which is m, and they give us a point. We can label x1, y1. So let's simply write the equation. Y minus the y-coordinate equals m x minus the x-coordinate. Now it's x minus negative 5, so I'm going to change it to a plus. And that is it. This is very easy to write when you know the point and the slope. Next, we want to write an equation of a line. This time they only give us 2 points. They want the equation to be in point-slope form. So let's write that again. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So we need to know a point, and we can say the point is 3, 2. So we'll label that x1, y1. And we need to know m. Right now we don't know m, the slope, but we can figure it out by using the equation for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's figure that out. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 8 minus 2 is 6, 5 minus 3 is 2. That gives us a slope of 3. We can now write our equation. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And we're finished. Notice how this form was very easy to write. The mx plus b form is very easy to graph. The next form, I always like to call, it's very easy to type, let's say. And this form is called standard form. And what it looks like is ax plus by equals c. Notice in this form, the x term comes first, then the y term, then the equals, and then the constant. And you always have to have integer coefficients. That means no fractions and no decimals. Another thing is you always want to start with a being positive. Okay, so let's try the example. In this equation, notice it's actually in slope-intercept form. We want to put it in standard form. That means we need the x term in front of the y term. So I'm going to subtract the x term to the other side and put it in front of the y. Next, we can't have a fraction. So right now, the denominator is 4. So you want to multiply everything by 4. Notice it's also negative in the beginning. So we're going to multiply everything by negative 4. So let's try this. Negative 4 times negative 3/4. You can compute in your calculator or in your head, and you're going to get 3x. Negative 4 times y will be negative 4y. And then negative 4 times negative 5 will equal positive 20. Notice we are now in standard form, where a would be 3, b would be negative 4, and c would equal 20. Standard form. This is very easy to type in on a computer. Now let's look at example 4. In problem 4, notice the equation is in standard form. Another nice thing about standard form is you can easily find the x and y intercepts. All you need to do is make a t-chart and place the zeros on a diagonal. What this means is put a 0 in for the y term. So if I put 0 for the y, I get 5 times 0, which is just 0. So this basically will disappear. And I have 3x equals 15. So to solve that, I can divide both sides by 3 and get x is 5. So 5 would be the x-intercept. For the y-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for the x. And when I do that, 0 times 3 is 0, and that basically will drop out. So I'm left with 5y equals 15. I can divide both sides by 5 and get y equals 3. So those are my two coordinates that I can now plot on my graph. The x-intercept is 5, the y-intercept is 3. I can connect my dots. Don't just stop there. Make sure you extend all the way through the graph and use arrows. And there is my graph.